All right, today on The Explainer, we are cracking open some recently declassified secret files. And what's inside? Well, it's a wild story of desertion, a kind of modern underground railroad, and this global web of spies and activists, all caught up in the height of the Cold War. And it all kicks off with a really compelling mystery.
So here's the setup. It's 1967. We're right in the thick of the Vietnam War. 4 U.S. Navy sailors. They just vanish while on shore leave in Japan. I mean, where did they go? Did they just walk away? The U.S. military was completely stumped. And little did they know, the answer was going to trigger a major international incident. So how in the world do we know what happened? Well, it's because of documents just like this one. What you're looking at is a real, declassified CIA dispatch straight from the Tokyo station. See that stamp? Secret. For literally decades, the complete story was buried in files just like this. But now we get to piece it all together. Okay, so pretty soon after the sailors go missing, this Japanese anti-war group called Bihiren steps right into the spotlight. They go public and claim responsibility. They say, yeah, we helped them desert. Now, their official name was the Japan Peace for Vietnam Committee, but the real question is, who were these people? And this is where it gets really fascinating. The CIA files paint two completely different pictures. On one hand, you've got their public face, a kind of loose-knit group of intellectuals, artists, and students. Looks pretty spontaneous, right? Supposedly led by this popular novelist, Oda Makoto. But the CIA's internal assessment? Totally different. They saw a tightly run organization, a hardcore secretariat, masterminded by this guy, Yoshikawa Yuichi, who was a seriously experienced ex-radical student leader. Make no mistake, this was not some amateur operation.
So what actually sparked all this? Well, according to a CIA memo, it was the sailors who made the first move. They were just completely fed up with the war and decided on their own to desert. But when they got in touch with these activists, Bihiren saw a massive opportunity. I mean, a huge one. The CIA even called it an apparent lucky windfall. It was this incredible propaganda victory that basically just landed in their lap. All they had to do, in the agency's words, was pick up the ball and run with it.
So the big question is, how on earth did they pull this off? Well, the CIA files lay out the whole playbook, and it really reads like a modern-day underground railroad. Let's break it down. Step 1. The 4 sailors defect from the USS Intrepid. Okay. Step 2. Bihiren activists immediately hide them, moving them through this whole network of secret safe houses all across Japan. While that's happening, Step 3, the group's leader, Yoshikawa, is secretly meeting with the Soviet embassy. Which leads to Step 4, the escape. They're smuggled onto a Soviet passenger ship in Yokohama. And finally, Step 5, they reappear in Moscow on November 20th, completely stunning the international community. And this is how the secret got out. You're looking at a real newspaper clipping from the time. The story breaks, and suddenly, this secret operation is a massive public spectacle. It pretty much confirmed the U.S. military's worst fears. And at the same time, it proved that Bihiren's claims were for real. They had actually done it. But look, this whole daring escape, that was really just the tip of the iceberg. The CIA's real concern wasn't just about 4 sailors. No, it was about the Bihiren itself. And the reason for that is simple. This group had managed to build a truly staggering network of influential supporters, both at home in Japan and all across the globe. I mean, the CIA was meticulously documenting who was backing Bihiren in Japan. And the list? It really reads like a who's who of the country's intellectual and artistic elite. We're talking famous novelists like Oda Makoto and the Akutagawa Prize winner Kaiko Ken. We've got top professors from universities like Doshisha and Kyoto. And here's something that definitely caught the agency's eye. They noted that many of these supporters were identified as former members of the Japan Communist Party. You know that raised some serious red flags. And this network, it went way beyond Japan. It was global. I mean, check out this list of contacts from the files. We're talking American icons like the folk singer Joan Baez and the writer Norman Mailer, the historian Howard Zinn. They were connected with major groups like Students for a Democratic Society, the SDS, and even U.S. Quakers. And get this, They were also in touch with huge European thinkers like Jean-Paul Sartre and Simone de Beauvoir. This wasn't just a local protest group. Beharin was a truly international force.
And Beharin's strategy was so much more than just helping deserters. It was this really sophisticated, multi-front campaign. As the CIA files show, they were doing it all. You had the constant street protests and demonstrations, but then you also had this slick media campaign. They were taking out full-page ads in the New York Times and the Washington Post. And on top of that, they were organizing global conferences, bringing together pacifists from all over the world. They were fighting a war of ideas on every single front they could.
Okay, so just when you think you have the story figured out, it takes another turn. The BHUIRN case, it turns out, wasn't happening in a vacuum. It was actually just one piece of a much, much larger intelligence puzzle. And we can see that in cables like this one, another secret document from 1970. It details this program with the codename LBEAT, and its main purpose? To maintain a watch list. Basically, a list of people whose movements were being tracked and reported directly to the CIA.
And when you start looking at this watch list, the sheer scale of the surveillance is just breathtaking. I mean, we're talking page after page of individuals being tracked all over the world, from Stockholm to Frankfurt, and right back to Cincinnati. The list just keeps on going. It's got names, last known locations, people the agency was interested in places like Stuttgart, London, and all across Switzerland. And it wasn't just foreign nationals either. You see entries here for U.S. citizens, people in anti-war circles being watched in locations from Indiana to London. It really drives home that the Beharin incident, as big as it was just one file among thousands in a huge, hidden archive.
So in the end, the story of these four sailors is so much more than just solving a single mystery. What it really does is pull back the curtain on this hidden world. It reveals this massive worldwide game of surveillance and subversion, a high-stakes chess match where the line between an activist and an intelligence target got very, very blurry.
Which really leaves us with a big, lingering question, doesn't it? In a global conflict like this, where exactly is the line between activism and espionage? When does dissent become subversion in the eyes of a government? These declassified files certainly don't provide a simple answer, but what they do show with incredible clarity is just how blurry and contested that line can really be.